Captain Maya Rodriguez had been in worse situations. Not many, granted, but definitely worse. The Zephyrian interrogation chamber looked like it had been designed by someone who watched too many bad Earth movies about aliens. All chrome surfaces, pulsing lights, and that annoying humming sound that screamed were technologically advanced but also really pretentious. So, Maya said, testing the energy restraints that held her to the chair, this is what passes for hospitality in the Zephyrian Empire. I've had better service at a truck stop diner. Commander Vextar, a 7-foot-tall blue-skinned alien with too many teeth and not enough personality, stepped forward. His uniform was covered in so many metals that Maya wondered if they gave them out for successfully breathing. Human, you will tell us the location of your fleet staging area. Maya laughed. Fleet? Buddy, I fly a cargo hauler that's held together with duct tape and stubbornness. The most dangerous thing in my cargo hold was expired protein bars. Do not mock the Zephyrian Intelligence Division, Vextar said, his voice carrying that special kind of authority that screamed middle management. We know humans are cunning and deceptive. Cunning? Have you met humans? We're the species that invented reality television and decided pineapple belongs on pizza. Our greatest military strategy is usually hold my beer and watch this. Lieutenant Kixnal, Vextar's aide, whispered something in his ear. The commander's expression grew more frustrated. The psychological profile indicates this specimen is employing sarcasm as a defense mechanism. Specimen? Maya raised an eyebrow. Oh, that's rich. I'm a specimen now. What's next? Are you going to poke me with a stick? From the adjacent cell, something stirred. Maya had noticed the massive shape in the shadows when they dragged her in, but it hadn't moved. Now she could sense attention focused on her. The thing was big, really big, and it was watching. Ignore the beast, Vextar said, noticing her glance. It has been sedated. It cannot help you. Beast. Maya looked more carefully. The creature was definitely alien, but there was something in its posture that suggested intelligence. What did you guys do, run out of regular prisoners? The creature is a special case, Vextar said uncomfortably. It has been in containment for 2 cycles. Maya studied the alien commander. For a species that prided itself on superior intellect, these guys were about as subtle as a brick through a window. Let me guess. You captured something you don't understand, can't control, and now you're hoping torture will make it cooperative. How's that working out for you? Kixnal shifted nervously. The subject has shown no response to standard interrogation techniques, because torturing people is definitely the hallmark of an advanced civilization, Maya said. You know what? I'm starting to think you guys aren't actually that smart. You're just really good at pretending to be. The temperature in the room seemed to drop a few degrees. The creature in the other cell moved again, and Maya caught a glimpse of massive claws and what might have been eyes that glowed with an inner light. Your attempts at psychological warfare are futile, Vextar declared. Humans are known for their emotional volatility. We will simply wait for your inevitable breakdown. Emotional volatility? Maya grinned. Oh, you sweet, naive blue buffoon. You have no idea what you're dealing with, do you? Commander Vextar activated what Maya assumed was supposed to be an intimidating torture device. It looked like a cross between a dentist's drill and a disco ball. This neural stimulator will cause excruciating pain without permanent damage. Very efficient. Oh wow, Maya said, genuinely impressed. You guys really went all out on the design. Did you hire the same decorator who did your ship? Because I've got to tell you, the whole evil alien empire aesthetic is really coming together. The device hummed to life and Maya gritted her teeth as pain shot through her nervous system. It hurt, no question about it, but she'd been through worse during Marine boot camp. Is that it? My drill sergeant hit harder, and she was 80 years old. Vextar's expression darkened. Increase the intensity. You know what your problem is? Maya said through gritted teeth. You think torture is about pain. But humans? We're stubborn. We'll endure pain just to spite you. It's like our national pastime. From the other cell came a low rumble. The creature was definitely paying attention now. Maya could feel its presence like a weight in the air. The beast grows restless, Snell observed nervously. Yeah, well, maybe it doesn't like your interrogation techniques either, Maya shot back. Ever think of that? Vextar cranked up the device again. This time Maya couldn't suppress a grunt of pain, but she managed to keep talking. You want to know something funny? I wasn't even military when you captured me. I was a Marine, sure, but that was years ago. Now I just haul cargo between systems. Medical supplies, mostly. Food for colony worlds. Food? Kixnal looked confused. Yeah, you know, the stuff people eat to survive? Ring any bells? Maya's voice was getting strained, but her sarcasm remained intact. But hey, congratulations on capturing the galaxy's most dangerous sandwich delivery person. The temperature in the room continued to drop. Ice crystals were forming on the walls now, and the overhead lights flickered. The creature in the other cell was definitely agitated. The environmental controls are malfunctioning, Kixnal reported. Or maybe, Maya said, looking directly at the shadowy figure, your guest over there doesn't appreciate the entertainment. Vextar followed her gaze and his confidence wavered. The containment field is holding. It cannot affect ship systems. Right, Maya said. And I'm sure that's exactly what you told your superiors when you decided to capture whatever that thing is. The pain device reached maximum intensity, and Maya's vision went white. She bit down so hard she tasted blood, but she didn't scream. When it stopped, she was breathing hard but still conscious. Impressive, Vextar admitted. Most species would have broken by now. Most species, Maya panted, aren't products of a world where the weather tries to kill you, the wildlife tries to kill you. And the other humans definitely try to kill you. We're basically made of concentrated stubbornness and spite. The creature in the other cell made a sound that might have been agreement or amusement. Maya couldn't tell which, but the ice crystals on the walls were spreading. The human is correct about one thing, a new voice said. Maya turned to see a smaller alien enter the chamber. This one wore the insignia of a science officer. Their species demonstrates remarkable pain tolerance. Thank you, Dr. Maya paused expectantly. Crinvol, the alien supplied automatically. Dr. Crinvol. See? This is what I'm talking about. A little courtesy goes a long way. Now, would you like to explain to your boss here why torturing me is a waste of everyone's time? The human's physiology is adapted for extreme stress, Crinvol explained to Vextar. Their homeworld subjected them to constant environmental pressure. They evolved to endure. Evolved to endure, Maya repeated. I like that. Mind if I put that on a business card? Maya's bravado was starting to crack. The pain device had done its work, and even her stubborn human physiology had limits. Her hands shook and she could feel her strength ebbing. But she'd be damned if she'd give these alien wannabe tough guys the satisfaction of seeing her break. Still nothing? Vextar asked, checking his instruments. Just getting warmed up, Maya lied. You know, back home we have a saying. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. You guys might want to consider that. From the other cell, the creature spoke for the first time. Its voice was deep, resonant, and carried undertones that made Maya's bones vibrate. Enough. Enough. The word hung in the air like a death sentence. Vextar spun around, his eyes wide. It spoke. I. Yeah, it spoke, Maya said. And I'm guessing it's not happy with the floor show. The creature moved closer to the transparent barrier separating the cells. Maya got her first good look at it, and immediately understood why the Zephyrians were nervous. It was humanoid but massive, easily 9 feet tall, with muscle definition that suggested it could bench press a shuttle. Its skin was deep gray, almost black, and covered in what looked like natural armor plating. But it was the eyes that really got her attention. They were intelligent, ancient, and currently burning with barely contained fury. I am Kronos, it said, the words carrying weight that had nothing to do with volume. And I have watched your kind inflict suffering for the last time. Kronos, Maya repeated. That's a human name, from Earth mythology. I have observed your species for millennia, Kronos replied. You are interesting, stubborn, brave in ways that defy logic. Millennia? Vextar's voice cracked. What are you? Kronos ignored him, focusing on Maya. Your endurance is admirable, but unnecessary. This ends now. Look, big guy, Maya said, trying to keep her voice steady. I appreciate the concern, but I can handle these clowns. No, Kronos said simply. You should not have to. The lights in the chamber began to flicker more violently. The temperature plummeted until Maya could see her breath. The Zephyrians looked around nervously as their instruments started giving off warning signals. The containment field is fluctuating, Kiex now reported, his voice high with panic. Impossible, Vextar said. The field generators are quantum locked. Kronos turned his attention to the commander. Your quantum locked field is child's play compared to what I have survived. What exactly are you? Maya asked, though she was starting to suspect she didn't want to know the answer. I am the last of my kind, Kronos said. The Zephyrians destroyed my homeworld 3 cycles ago. They believed my people posed a threat to their expansion. And did you? Maya asked. We were pacifists, Kronos replied. We studied the universe, cataloged its wonders, and tried to understand our place in it. We offered knowledge and friendship to those who sought it. So naturally they had to be destroyed, Maya said bitterly. Because that's what bullies do when they meet someone who might be better than them. I was away when it happened, Kronos continued, studying a distant star system. When I returned, my world was ash. My people were gone. I was captured while trying to retrieve survivors. The containment field began to spark and crackle. The Zephyrians backed away from both cells, their confidence evaporating. The field is destabilizing, Krinvol warned. We need to evacuate the chamber. No, Vextar said. We have both specimens contained. This is our chance to study them. You're not studying anything, Maya said. You're about to become a cautionary tale. Kronos stood to his full height, and Maya realized she'd underestimated his size. He was closer to 10 feet tall, and when he spread his arms, the span was enormous. I have endured 2 cycles of your enhanced interrogation. I have watched you torture others for information you could have simply asked for. I have seen enough. The containment field is collapsing, Kixnell screamed. Yeah, Maya said, settling back in her chair as much as the restraints would allow. It really is. The containment field didn't just fail. It exploded. The transparent barrier between the cells shattered in a shower of crystalline fragments, and the energy feedback sent the Zephyrian instruments into complete meltdown. Kronos stepped out of his cell like he was walking through a doorway instead of a supposedly impenetrable quantum barrier. Holy shit, Maya breathed. That's not supposed to be possible. Many things are possible when you understand the fundamental nature of reality, Kronos said calmly. He reached over and casually snapped Maya's restraints like they were made of paper. Are you injured? Nothing permanent, Maya said, rubbing her wrists. But I'm starting to think you might be slightly more dangerous than you let on. Slightly, Kronos agreed. Vextar was backing toward the door, his weapon drawn but shaking in his hands. Stay back. The ship's security forces are already responding. Are they? Kronos asked. He tilted his head slightly, as if listening to something. I count 14 guards approaching this section. They carry standard plasma weapons and ballistic armor. How could you possibly know that? Krinvol stammered. Because I can feel their heartbeats, Kronos replied. I can sense their fear. And I can taste their desperation in the air. Maya felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. Kronos, what exactly are you capable of? Would you like a demonstration? He asked pleasantly. Before Maya could answer, the chamber door burst open and Zephyrian security forces poured in. They opened fire immediately, plasma bolts lighting up the room like a laser light show. Maya dove for cover behind an overturned table. The plasma fire had no effect on Kronos whatsoever. The bolts struck him and simply dissipated, as if he was absorbing the energy. He walked through the barrage like a man strolling through a light rain. That's not possible, one of the guards screamed. Nothing can withstand concentrated plasma fire. You are correct, Kronos said. Nothing can. Fortunately, I am not nothing. What happened next was less a fight and more a natural disaster. Kronos moved with impossible speed and grace, each motion calculated and precise. He didn't just defeat the guards, he dismantled them. Not killed, dismantled. Their weapons crumbled to dust at his touch. Their armor fell away like old paint. And the guards themselves, Maya couldn't tell if they were dead or unconscious, but they definitely weren't getting up anytime soon. Jesus, Maya whispered. What are you? I am what your species would call a god, Kronos said matter-of-factly. Though I prefer to think of myself as a very dedicated student of physics. A god. Maya processed this. An actual god. The last of my kind, as I mentioned. We were what you might call a transcendent species. We moved beyond physical limitations millennia ago. The Zephyrians destroyed our physical forms, but they could not destroy what we had become. And you've been pretending to be their prisoner for 2 years? I was studying them, Kronos explained, trying to understand their motivations, their culture, their weaknesses. I wanted to know why they had committed genocide against peaceful beings. And? They did it because they could, because they were afraid, because they believed that might makes right. Kronos' eyes flared brighter. They were wrong. Alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Emergency lights bathed everything in red. Over the intercom, Maya could hear panicked voices reporting containment breaches, system failures, and casualty reports. The emergency beacon Vextar gasped from where he was cowering behind an overturned console. It's activating automatically. The fleet will respond. Will they? Kronos asked. He gestured casually, and every electronic device in the chamber sparked and died. I think you'll find your communications are experiencing some difficulties. Maya watched in fascination as Kronos systematically took control of the ship's systems with apparent ease. Lights flickered and died. The artificial gravity fluctuated. The air recycling system made some very unhappy sounds. How are you doing that? She asked. Your Einstein was close, Kronos said. Energy and matter are interchangeable. But he didn't understand the implications. When you truly comprehend the relationship between consciousness and reality, you realize that the universe is far more flexible than most species believe. So you're basically rewriting the laws of physics? I'm applying them correctly, Kronos corrected. The Zephyrians use technology as a crutch. They've forgotten that the universe responds to will as much as to force. Maya grinned despite herself. You know what? I like you already. The Zephyrian flagship Dominator had been the pride of their fleet exactly 37 minutes ago. Now it was Kronos' personal chariot of destruction, and he was using it to redecorate Zephyrian space in a style Maya was starting to think of as apocalyptic chic. So, Maya said, settling into the captain's chair while Kronos interfaced with the ship's systems in ways that made her brain hurt. What's the plan here? Are we just going to blow up everything with a Zephyrian flag on it? Not everything, Kronos said thoughtfully. Just the military installations, and the fleet bases, and the command centers, and probably their homeworld. Probably? I haven't decided yet. It depends on how cooperative they are. Maya watched the tactical display as Kronos broadcasted what she assumed was a surrender demand to the approaching Zephyrian fleet. His message was brief: you have 10 minutes to evacuate all personnel from military installations. After that, I begin dismantling your empire. 10 minutes seems generous, Maya observed. I am not without mercy, Kronos replied. Unlike some species I could mention. The response from the Zephyrian fleet was predictable. They opened fire with everything they had. Plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, got something called a reality distortion beam that sounded impressive but apparently did absolutely nothing to someone who could casually rewrite physics. They're not very bright, are they? Maya said as the attacks washed over their ship without effect. Intelligence and wisdom are not the same thing, Kronos observed. They are tactically competent but strategically foolish. They believe that superior firepower equals superiority in all things. And you're about to teach them otherwise. I am about to provide a practical demonstration of the difference between technology and power. What followed was less a battle and more a systematic demolition. Kronos didn't just destroy the attacking fleet, he unmade it. Ships didn't explode. They simply stopped existing. One moment they were there, the next they were gone, as if they had never been built. How are you doing that? Maya asked, fascinated despite herself. I am convincing the universe that those ships were never a good idea, Kronos explained. Reality is surprisingly agreeable when you ask nicely. That's terrifying. It is efficient. The ship's communications system crackled to life, and Maya heard the panic in the Zephyrian voices as reports came in from across their empire. Military bases were simply vanishing. Fleet installations were being erased from existence. Entire star systems were going dark. This is Admiral Korthak of the Zephyrian High Command, a voice announced. We are prepared to negotiate. Now they want to negotiate, Maya said. After 2 years of torture. The terms are simple, Kronos broadcast back. Complete withdrawal from all conquered territories, reparations to every species you have subjugated, and the immediate release of all prisoners. Impossible, Korthak replied. The Empire cannot simply abandon its holdings. Then the Empire will be abandoned by existence, Kronos said pleasantly. Your choice. Maya watched the tactical display as more Zephyrian installations simply ceased to exist. It was like watching someone delete files from a computer, except the files were military bases and the computer was reality itself. You know, she said, I should probably be more horrified by this. But you are not, Kronos observed. No, I'm really not. These guys destroyed an entire species of pacifists. They torture prisoners for fun. They're basically space Nazis with better technology. An apt comparison. Your species has experience with such entities. Yeah, we do. And we know what happens when you try to negotiate with bullies. The communication system buzzed again. This time the voice was different, higher ranked, more desperate. This is Supreme Commander Vexoth of the Zephyrian Empire. We accept your terms. All of them? Kronos asked. All of them. Please, the destruction must stop. Very well. You have 72 hours to begin implementation. I will be monitoring your progress. Maya looked at the tactical display. In the space of 2 hours, the Zephyrian Empire had gone from a galactic superpower to a collection of very nervous survivors. That was impressively efficient. I have had 2 years to plan this, Kronos said. I wanted to be thorough. Mission accomplished. So what now? Now we wait and see if they keep their word. And if they don't? Kronos smiled and Maya realized she was looking at something that had redefined the concept of danger. Then I will have to be less polite. 6 months later, Maya found herself in the strangest job interview of her life. She was sitting in what used to be the Zephyrian High Command Center, across from beings representing 17 different species, but all of whom looked like they were trying very hard not to wet themselves. So, she said, enjoying the absurdity of the situation, you want me to be humanity's official representative to the new Galactic Council? If you are willing, said Ambassador Threen of the Altarian Republic, his tentacles twitching nervously. Given your unique relationship with the entity known as Kronos. Entity? Maya laughed. He's sitting right over there. You can call him by his name. Kronos, who had been quietly observing the proceedings while somehow managing to look both bored and terrifying, nodded politely. I prefer Kronos, yes. Entity makes me sound like a tax code. Of course, Threen said quickly. No offense intended, mighty Kronos. Untaken. Though I should mention that mighty is also unnecessary. I am simply Kronos. Maya grinned. 6 months of traveling the galaxy with a literal god had taught her that power and ego didn't always go hand in hand. Kronos was probably the most polite apocalypse she'd ever met. The position comes with significant benefits, continued Darnex of the hegemony. Full diplomatic immunity, access to all council facilities, and a very generous salary. And all I have to do is make sure humanity doesn't accidentally start any wars. Or end any civilizations. Added core this of the Confederation. We've all seen what happens when humans get enthusiastic about things. Hey, that was one time, Maya protested. And technically, Kronos did all the civilization ending. I just provided moral support. Moral support, Kronos mused. I like that description. It is accurate. The truth was, Maya had enjoyed every minute of watching the Zephyrian Empire crumble. She'd grown up hearing stories about bullies who picked on people smaller than them, and seeing one get their comeuppance on a galactic scale had been deeply satisfying. The Council is also prepared to offer humanity membership, Threen continued. Full rights, full voting privileges, and protection under galactic law. Protection? Maya raised an eyebrow. From what? What? From anyone foolish enough to threaten your species, Darnex said. Word has spread about what happened to the Zephyrians. No one wants to be the next civilization to discover what happens when humans are mistreated. Maya looked over at Kronos, who was examining his fingernails with apparent interest. So you've basically made humanity untouchable. I have made it clear that I take a personal interest in your species' welfare, Kronos corrected. The galaxy has drawn its own conclusions. And those conclusions? That humans are not to be harmed, threatened, or inconvenienced in any way, shape, or form, Corthis said. Ever. Inconvenienced? Maya laughed. That seems excessive. A human cargo pilot was overcharged for fuel at a station in the Rigel system last month, Threen explained. The station was relocated. Relocated where? Into the nearest star, Kronos said mildly. I felt the price was unreasonable. Maya stared at him. You destroyed an entire space station over a fuel bill? I moved it, Kronos corrected. And I gave everyone time to evacuate. I am not unreasonable. You're completely insane. I prefer dedicated to customer service. The alien representatives looked back and forth between them with the expression of beings who had realized they were witnessing the formation of the most terrifying partnership in galactic history. So, Maya said, turning back to the Council, let me get this straight. You want me to be humanity's ambassador? You're offering us full membership in the galactic community. And you're all collectively terrified that we might accidentally sneeze wrong and trigger another empire-ending rampage? That is an accurate summary, Darnex admitted. And all because these idiots decided to torture a random cargo pilot? The universe is full of unexpected consequences, Kronos observed. I find it endlessly entertaining. Maya stood up and shook hands with each of the representatives. Gentlemen, ladies, and assorted tentacled beings, you've got yourself a deal. But I have one condition. Name it, Threen said quickly. Next time someone captures a human, maybe try asking nicely first. We're actually pretty reasonable when you don't start with the torture. Noted, all the representatives said in unison. As they filed out of the chamber, Maya turned to Kronos. So what now? Are you going to keep following me around, making sure nobody overcharges me for parking? I had not considered parking fees, Kronos said thoughtfully. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I was joking. I was not. Maya sighed. You know what? I think I'm going to enjoy this job. It's nice having a friend who can rearrange reality when the universe gets too annoying. I am pleased to be of service, Kronos said, though I should mention that I am considering expanding my interests. Oh? No. There are several other species that practice slavery, torture, and genocide. I thought I might pay them a visit. Educational visits? The most educational kind. Maya grinned. You know what, big guy? I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Outside the former High Command Center, 17 different species began frantically updating their policies on the treatment of sentient beings. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Sometimes the best way to ensure peace is to have a really, really good friend. And sometimes that friend happens to be a god with anger management issues and a very flexible relationship with the laws of physics. 15 minutes of torture had indeed burned down the galaxy. But from the ashes something better was growing. Something where bullies thought twice, where the strong protected the weak, and where overcharging for fuel was considered a capital offense. Maya couldn't have asked for a better outcome.